When God finished creating the heavens and the earth, he rested on the seventh day. But God wasn't done telling the story of his amazing creation. This is the story of the very first people, the beautiful garden they lived in, and God's special plan for them. God made a wonderful place called the Garden of Eden. It was full of tall green trees, colorful flowers, and every kind of fruit you could imagine. A river flowed through the garden, splitting into 4 streams, watering everything. The garden was the perfect home for God's very first man, Adam. The Lord God formed Adam from the dust of the ground. Then God breathed his own breath into Adam's nose, and Adam became alive. He was the very first person in the whole world. God placed Adam in the Garden of Eden and said,
"You can eat from any tree here, except one, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil."
"Take care of this beautiful garden. You can eat from any tree here except one, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil." God saw that Adam needed a friend, so God brought all the animals to Adam to see what he would name them. Adam gave names to every creature: elephant, bird, lion, dog, but none of the animals were quite like Adam. Adam was still alone. God wanted Adam to have a helper and friend, so God decided to make a special companion for Adam. He made Adam fall into a deep sleep. Then God took one of Adam's ribs and used it to make Eve, the very first woman. When Adam woke up, he was so happy.
"She is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh."
Now Adam had a perfect partner and friend. They lived together in the Garden of Eden, surrounded by animals, trees, and rivers. They were not ashamed, and everything was peaceful and good. God gave them a simple command.
"You may eat from any tree, but do not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil."
God wanted Adam and Eve to trust him and obey him. He gave them freedom, with one loving limit. This helped them learn to listen and care. Adam named the animals and cared for them. Eve cared for the plants and walked beside Adam. They were close to each other and close to God. Everything in the garden lived in harmony. The rivers fed the plants and animals, and everything grew. It was a good place. God made them to care for the world and to be cared for. He made them to be close to him. God's creation was full of love, beauty, and goodness. And that's how God created Adam and Eve and placed them in a perfect garden. He made them to care for the world and to be close to him. God's creation was full of love, beauty, and goodness. They were made to care for each other and the world. Little acts of kindness were part of their day. And God walked with them in the garden. You could hear birds singing and water flowing. Everything joined in the music of creation. It was peaceful and safe. God teaches us to care for what he made. He asks us to love each other and the world. That is how we show we trust him. God gave one loving limit, and he asked them to trust him. Trust and care made the garden a happy home. God wanted them to live in friendship with him, and God watched over them with love. Every day was a gift to enjoy and to protect. They lived in peace and safety. This is the story of God's creation of man and woman, and the very first home he made for them. And that's how God created Adam and Eve and placed them in a perfect garden. He made them to care for the world and to be close to him. God's creation was full of love, beauty, and goodness. He made them to care for the world and to be close to him. This is the story of God's creation of man and woman, and the very first home he made for them. This is the story of God's creation, and how he cared for the first people. This is the story of God's creation of man and woman. It was a place of love and goodness made by God. May we learn to care for what he created. This is the story of God's creation of man and woman. Thank you for listening.